Hello, little peoples.
Alright, so real quick. Yeah, you can use that. Yeah. Real quick, I know a lot of you folks may or may not know who Baz is.
Take glasses off, see your eyes.
Baz could probably give you a deeper history about his design and all that, but I will say that Baz is one of my true friends, a mentor of mine that I've known now 15-ish years.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily 15.
And like, I've seen some of his progression through Master Kite Builder to full-on production building.
Mm-hmm. And the effect.
Yeah, and back.
Yes.
So some of this may, from my understanding, because this is your talk, some of this may be like really, really high-level production stuff, but the big takeaway is that Baz knows how to scale up and scale down. So if you have any questions, trust me, interrupt him. He'll probably.
Oh, please do. Please do.
And we just talk about this is not necessarily a lead class. This is like a round table discussion. So
Yeah.
I will just not whiteboard over and talk.
Just whiteboard me. That's all I need. So hello, I'm Bazzer, and
Bazzer, your kite code name?
and I am a kite addict. Have been for years. So
Hello, Bazzer.
it's been 13 minutes since I last offended. So kiting, as you know, is either in your blood or it isn't. And quite frankly, once you've got the bug, you've got the bug. So very soon you work out that what you got in your pocket doesn't match what you want in your bag. So you have to start building your own or learning how to. For me, I was originally trained as a fine art student.
I love you, Baz. You're really quiet.
All right, I am quiet.
Yeah, we're all gonna scoot in.
All right. So I used to be a fine art student and then went to theatre school to learn lighting and sound, set design, costume design, where I met with the most beautiful human being on earth called Natasha Koshkoshka, who was a fashion and costume builder for many, many movies, including like Gorillas of the Mist, all the ape costumes and all that kind of stuff. And she sat me down in front of the sewing machine and I took to it like it was just natural. I remember one day she turned around to me and says, "So, would you like a job sewing?" And I turned around and said, "I don't want to do this for the rest of my life." Wrong. Wrong. So, working in the theatre industry, you don't get much daylight. And so my brother-in-law took me kite flying one weekend because I needed a bit of daylight because he said I looked a bit white. And we went to Bristol Kite Festival where I promptly met him, Mr. Ron Gibeon,
What? I had nothing to do with
at Bristol. And we had many friends over there. And I started the idea of I'm going to make my own. The very first kite I ever tried to make was a little plastic trilby kind of kite. And I stuck it together with tape and it flew nicely for a while. And then I thought, I can do this now, I'll make a revolution. It exploded like someone had hit it with a shotgun, like a dead pheasant in the air. And it all went horribly wrong and it all ripped apart. Then I built a flexi foil and I only knew about the mesh on it. So I put the cross-stitch embroidery thread mesh in it because that's all I knew. And that bounced on the ground like a lively airbed. So wherever you start, you've all got to think about where you want to finish. Your skills increase, your knowledge increases, and along the way, you have choices. And most of those choices come down to how much money do I want to spend? Do I want to do this full time? Do I need to make what someone else is making a perfect version of? And do I want to interfere in the whole balance of the world? And, you know, am I okay with what I build? Yes, I am. Am I good at what I do? Yes. Would I like to go back to the days when I used to go out flying with the team and get on a plane every week and do that and nothing else? Yes. Does life then give you bills?
Yes.
Yeah. So whatever you make, there's ways of making it. There's your beginner's way, which will take you 2.5 weeks to make a kite. And then as you get better and better, your techniques get faster. And for some of us here, there's a few people that work in production on kites. And our skill level has come up through having the right people around us and also knowing as much as we need to know about a subject to make the right decision to maybe get them to help us or get the information so we can build it. So if I had a new kite that I need a certain flex of carbon in, I'd actually turn around and say, Paul, I need this kind of feel. And he'd give me some options because his knowledge over the years in carbon is phenomenal. If I want a solid frame in a single line kite, I look across at Ron and go, Ron, I got a problem. It looks pretty, but it's not right. And you've got to rely on the contacts you've made over the years. If it comes down to making fittings, like Waddy and I were talking about the other day, I've just got some really cool printers coming my way, and we use them every day, but I don't make kite fittings with them yet. Talking with Waddy, he's given me a source that I can use to start my journey in that. So machinery-wise, you all probably sit there with your faffs and sit there going ka-dick, 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 ka-dick. Well, that can work. Or you can go you can be doing a hem of maybe a 20-30 meter kite and it's going so fast it's zigzagging up the wall, which is fun. Doing a rolled hem at that speed. Or you can spend 3 days doing it the other way. You either go step up and make it if you want to make the money. You've got to do it as fast as possible, get it out the door. But it still has to be perfect. So your techniques and what you use on any machinery, it doesn't matter if it's a slow machine. If you're not using it perfectly to make perfection, garbage in, garbage out. Every single time. And that takes practice. So production-wise, the right gear, the right people around you, some spending money. It doesn't always get cheap, especially if you're looking into going to do anything like dye sublimation these days. Your pockets must be pretty full, or you're going to do it yourself. We can do it at home, and not too pricey, really, is it? For doing small panels? Yeah, yeah. Or a full-out dye sublimation press that costs you about $250,000. So it's where you're going to go. Do I need to own one? No, I don't. Do I need to know someone who runs one every day? Dye sublimation, if you're doing it, you have to run your transfer printers every day. Every day.
Hey, Baz, real quick question. Just for anyone that doesn't know what dye sub would be.
Oh, dye sub is magic.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's all you need to know. You have to be a wizard to understand it.
But is it printing on fabric?
No.
Is it painting?
Well, no and yes. Yes and yes and yes.
Is
it can be.
Building
I was talking to Waddy.
fabric?
Yes, you can paint on fabric.
Yeah.
He found a pen with it in.
What is dye
All right,
sub?
so you're going to have a dye ink, which is going to go onto a piece of paper. It's going to dry. You're then going to heat it onto polyester. A chemical bond is going to go between the vaporized dye and the polyester, curing instantly, transferring the image to be bonded into polyester. You can't rub it off. It's there for good. It's chemically bonded. It's magic. When you see it done the first time and you open up that press and peel off that transfer paper, it's like, whoa. It's just amazing.
Basically, like instead of doing dye in a pot,
Yeah.
it's dye that it evaporates.
No, there
And
isn't.
So you can place it in particular areas, heat it up, it evaporates, and then it dyes where it was sitting. Right, so lets you be really selective in where you put the dye, essentially, instead of a pot where you're going to put it all in.
Yeah.
So photographic images.
You can do.
You can.
It also makes incredibly beautiful flat colours too. But it's expensive to do for bigger pieces.
Ken Conrad here in the US.
Yeah, Ken, after all the ones I've bumped into in the years, yeah, I think he knows more than most. There's a couple of Chinese guys at the moment that are doing a run for his money, who are exactly the same as Ken. That's another thing with China in general. Everyone has this fear this, we're not using it because it's going to be garbage, it's going to be trash. You are wrong. They have come through the exact learning that every one of us has, but they've then studied it. They've then gone to the far as they can do and are trying stuff that you can't even think of every day like this. So this fear of China is ridiculous because they're good, very good at what they do.
We touch it every once in a while, they live it every day.
Yeah, yeah, we dip in, they're making the money out of it. And for them, going into business is as easy as anything. And if it doesn't work out, they close that business and start another one tomorrow. No shame, no guilt, bang, you're straight back in. Yeah, they're formidable people, and once you get to know them, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So die sub can be done by lots of printers. Like you say, Ken's here. If you've got small things to do, or I suggest going to somewhere like Fort Worden, and you send your design to Ken and he'll print that up, and then you go in and you'll make your kite of that design he's talking about. He'll print it for you and bring it in, and you'll look at it and go, wow, that's awesome. That's if you can't do applique.
Ken Conrad.
Ken Conrad.
We'll make sure you get the name.
Mm.
Yeah, I won't remember. Yeah. Don't
No.
worry, I'll write down the name.
So I'll try not to do many of the names because some of them get a bit crazy. But
Yeah.
we'll make sure we go through.
Fabulous
you.
print.
Yep.
Fabulous.
In fact, Ken's print work is some of the best in the world. Absolutely. Of course, the Spanish brothers who were doing it, the Gonzalez brothers, are now finished. They sold, had enough. They wanted a holiday. Pedro wanted to feed a cat, something like that. So they finished. So that's in one idea of how to put a transfer across on a piece of paper. You can do dye sublimation with it. That leads you to other problems. When you have a sewn kite and you have it in front of you, when you have a dye sublimation kite and have it in front of you, still the sewn one is worth 2 to 3 times the amount of money as the printed one. Because we look at it and immediately think, that's just cheating. That's just printed. And it's right. Well, it's not necessarily right. Is it any worse? No, sometimes. But grain direction of cloth when you're making kites is very important. The warp and the weft, the way it bends, the way it stretches, the way it folds, the way it creases, the way it falls apart when it's not reinforced, all have to come into your designs. And yeah, pretty much most sewn kites and applique kites, or kites with multiple panels, have that grain direction built into them. So when a spar goes in and loads up, it actually puts tension through the whole piece of cloth rather than making it wrinkle. And again, that comes from knowledge, that comes from building, comes from talking to people, looking at other people's stuff, working out what's happening. So if I had a run of kites, say Phoenix Pros sitting over here, I only make them in 20s. There's no point me even opening the workshop door for any less than 20 kites. I'm now factoring the real things in life. Electricity, air conditioning where I am. When it's hitting 110 degrees outside and you're in a garage with a metal door on it, you need aircon. All of your supplies. When you're cutting out of a big bolt of fabric, if you're only going to take a panel this big out the corner, whereas if you folded it in half, you could take 3 of those panels and make 6 instead of the 3 or the 1. There's less wastage. Icarex, if you're using Icarex, not the cheapest material on earth, by far.
Icarex is going for how much right now? Like 20?
I don't know what it is here.
20, 21, 22.
It's in the 20 buck mark, and it used
$21
about 10 years ago. It's running about 15, 16. Yeah, now we're up to 20. It's not going down.
17, it's up to about 20 or 21.
Yeah. It depends how much you're ordering as well, but again, how deep your pockets are. So when I'm cutting panels, I look to tessellate those panels through folded cloth, so I'm getting a pair every time I cut at least, or sometimes 10 times the thickness of the cloth, and the wastage is as tiny as I can get it. I wish I was intelligent enough, like Waddy here, to use every tiny scrap into the tiniest corner, but I'm not. I can't do that. And the idea is to spend, I go in and do a cutting day. So I cut all the panels. The next 2-3 days are layup days, where I use a board and lay the panels up so they're all ready to sew. Then a couple of sewing days, I'm making bags. Bridal day, out the door in about 8 days for those 20 kites. So it's fast and furious. The way you organise your day, you will find how long you can sew for a day. You will find how long you can stand at cutting table for. It's all about you reaching that point of perfection to make things efficient. If you're okay with that taking an extra 2 days building them, by all means, do it. But in those 2 days, I'll be on the next 20. There's people order, they don't like waiting. You can usually get, 2-3 weeks? COVID time, you could get 5 months, but those are gone. People used to going on Amazon, pressing the button and arriving within a week. So you either do that, or you have a conversation with your customer. This is important too. When you sell to somebody, it's not just an order that comes in on the screen. That's the start. It's a relationship that you then build with that customer. If you have a great relationship with your customer, the next time they even think about the kite, buying a kite, it's yours. It's no one else's, because they got that relationship with you. So especially when you're going into business, the people relationships, people are forgetting about now. They're just thinking about selling units. Well, if you're going to sell units, if you talk to them, you can maybe get another 20-30% of money out of them. If you want to get basic about it, that is the better way to go around it, because you feel great, you know the person, you have a relationship with them. It's not working then, it's talking to a friend, it's doing that kind of work. When it comes about just churning units, it gets boring pretty quick. So take a part of your day and break it down. If you're in production, break it down into making a phone call, making an email, anything like that. Talk to your customers. If you're having a problem and it's not going right and you're going to need a few extra days, let them know. Let them know the worst immediately. I was cutting this and I put a knife straight through it. I've got to make another one. And they go, oh, really? Can't you sell it to me cheap? No, you're paying for perfect. You're going to get perfect. It's going to take a little longer, but always let your customer know what they're doing. Without them, you haven't got a business. Once that's gone, well, don't bother anymore. Sell all the machinery and have someone else make your kites. So is anyone here looking to start producing?
I think you scared.
Correct answer. Don't do it. Make them for your own life. Make a certain number, sell them, take the money, tour the world, meet lots of kite people, have fun. That's pretty much.
There's a good takeaway though, that whether you're doing it as a business or doing it for your friends, right?
Yeah.
Your friends are going to be very accommodating if you say like, hey, like I need an extra month to get this kite to you.
Absolutely.
And just having that communication.
And it's really cool to know that I would say 90% of anyone who's bought my kite, I'm quite friendly with. I could consider them as being pretty much a friend, because we've talked about things over the years. They want to know. And also, if you've got your Facebook page or whatever it is those youngsters are doing now.
Don't look at me, man.
You youngsters are... No. You youngsters are doing... You're old now.
It's only old people.
Whatever lines of communication you're with, talking to people now is so fast. They get notified as soon as you do a message. Now, if your database is full of 2,500 people and you make one post and it reaches 2,500 people, well, just work on that as a percentage. How many do you think are going to bite?
Yep.
What percentage back do you want? If you want full 100%, my God, you're going to do some work. If you're going to be happy with working out, well, let's maybe do 20. Let's do 30 or 40. Do I think in 2.5 weeks they're all going to be gone? You can start making your own assessment. And also, what's happening in the world? Where's the money going? Is it going up and down? Has people got things to splash at the moment? If they haven't, they're not going to buy a $500-600 kite. Because you don't want to make a $10 kite. You want to make one that's what it's worth. If you're going to spend weeks and weeks and weeks of development making a machine that flies almost to perfection in your mind and in certain people's hands, you're not going to let it go just because China's making a $100 version. You're not going to sell it at that price. It's not right. You've put hours into doing it. You deserve money. You deserve to be paid. So get paid. And if they don't want to buy it, they ain't your customer.
Are you making just real custom design kites?
I did for the longest time. But when you spent 4 months designing it, okay, how much do you get paid for 4 months' work?
Well, I'm retired now.
Yeah.
I didn't make
But you know what I mean? In your job, if you were asked to do work for 4.5 months to come up with a design, that has to be factored in. If it's completely custom, if it's completely one-off, you've got to pay for time. Time is, you can't just go, I have a thought that I had, which is this, this, and this, and this, and this, all on a kite. Design it for me, make it for me, sell it to me for, I can get a kite from Costco's for $85. Not going to happen.
But you don't have people like assembly line. It's all you doing the whole thing?
For me it is. I'm a pain in the ass to work for. I've had a few people over the years. I expect too much out of people when they work for me.
Do you do more than just make the kite? I mean, you fly them and test them, but do you go out for fun too, or is it all?
Oh yeah.
So those that don't know, Baz used to be on iQuad, was on a lot of professional flying teams, outfitted all the teams, traveled around the world flying quad line, dual line, single line for many years. That's how we met.
Trying to remember what airport you're in.
Yeah.
So it felt like that. So
not only designing and building the kites that the team was flying, but flying with the team as well.
Those years in iQuad were great because you build something, you design it, you know you're close, and you take it out and fly it for the first time, and oh boy, it's bad. Someone suggested a grain direction for a piece of gauze, and you've thrown it in.
I never felt that way about my kites.
Never ever. Especially when you're really proud of it, and you go, I've made the brand new one of this. There aren't any others in the world. Shit.
So if we go from now, you've done production, right?
Yeah.
You're going to go back to just building for yourself.
I am, but I'm now going to use techniques that I've kind of gleaned on the way.
Right. So could you maybe, help us not have to go through all the pages?
Okay. All right.
Those techniques of...
Who here has a cricket or a plotter of some description? Or in the right direction now.
Because Baz taught me how to use my vinyl cutter to stuff.
Yes. You can cut ripstop nylon and Dacron on a vinyl cutter.
Yep.
My ones happen to be 54-inch wide with optical sensors and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, at some point, you've got to put your fabric onto the machine. When I first started doing it, I'd get the thinnest sheet I could of either HDPE or polystyrene modeler's sheet. Hit it a few times with an aerosol can. That way, put a piece of cloth down, rip it off again until it's just the right tack. So you're making a tacky board. Yep. You then put your cloth on there, send it through the machine, and in about 6 hours you've burnt out every servo motor you can, because it's trying to push a piece of plastic through as well, and it's trying to go over and over the machine like this. So the next thing I did was made sunk the whole machine into a flat table. Polished it up, covered it in talcum powder, and then let the machine go backwards and forwards. I have only started burning out 2 motors this time, getting better. Then I stopped with that for a while because it's getting expensive in motors. Then I came across this film, a lovely interesting print technology called DTF, direct to transfer, came about, which means you print directly onto either a garment or a transfer paper, which then sticks directly onto the object. Which
This is DTF.
that's DTF right there.
Yep. The back of these are
Yeah.
DTFs that we've done. For
So this will be printed with white ink, at least 3 colours. If you're doing badges, you have like a gel coat that goes over the top of them. But when you're doing clothing transfers, it comes out the back, and then they put across DTF powder, which is actually a glue, and it sticks to the back of the ink. You know, get shaked off, baked a little bit, cut around it, stick it on, heat press, job done. Well, there's another version, a company called Chemmark and Sizer, Adson, just a pile of these companies, that you do the old vinyl version. So you cut out your vinyl letters, you put a transfer paper on top, peel them off in the negative, they got the glue on this side. That transfer paper, that's the one. It's the cheapest of all of the technologies to buy. You buy it by the roll. It'll be made here by Oracle.
yeah, Oracle and Sizer here.
Okay, Oracle and Sizer.
Oracle.
Yeah, and SISER.
So I have a vinyl cutter.
Yes.
I bought the vinyl window stuff that goes like in a tent, and I sprayed it.
Yep.
But the problem I'm having is it loses registration, right? So if you're
Ah.
making a long piece, it's
Yes.
losing registration.
Yes.
And so I have to divide the cut up into segments. All right. I don't want to.
As long as you put in registration marks into your cut, you can reline it.
Yeah, you can.
Because
I found
my
dividing
job
it
now is a
into-
printer, so we have
Yeah.
massive great windows, and everything has to line up perfectly. So in our print there will be points of registration.
Yeah, I just broke it up into sixths so that it didn't traverse too far.
Yeah.
Because the cut, the optimization was, the cut optimization was horrible. It would just go all the way down, and go up
Yep.
here, and then
Yep.
go over there.
No, most definitely. But the nice thing about this transfer paper, they're usually clear mylar. So not only can they take the transfer with the adhesive on, and you can buy them in different tacks, which is, after spraying bits of board for years and making up a tacky board, like, to
think
be able to just go to the roll and just go, slice. You put your piece of fabric on it, and you feed it in, and it's like feeding 2 pieces of fabric.
Oh my
It's yeah. I had to wait nearly 8 years for that to appear, and the day it did, it was like, oh my god! So I've just saved you 8 years.
God. Yes.
Um,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, putting logos on things. Since we're talking about DTF, I'm pretty sure John and Kite Forge is using a DTF sticker in the middle. Waddy, are you playing that game yet?
I'm doing vinyl.
Are you using vinyl?
Yeah,
Take a look into
embroidery.
yeah. Well, embroidery is a lovely way. An embroidered
Not for
logo.
grip stuff though.
No, guess it puckered.
Yeah.
Absolutely puckered. But I suggest looking into DTF. There's some firms. Well, we deal a lot with New Zealand. There's some companies in there who they change all. I was saying about the DTF powder on the back. There's different grades, of course, from things that are low tack to high tack, to leathers to cottons to almost sheet glass. So you just have to pick the right substrates. Of Icarex, you're looking at a low temperature heat transfer. Can't remember any numbers, but what you can do with these companies also is said, send me a swatch sample, and in that they will have a copy of every glue substrate on a print, so you can actually try it on your heat press or iron or whatever else you're using. So I'm lucky that I have heat presses from this size to that sort of size, so it makes life easy. But if you're doing a logo, and 13 seconds later you'll be done. Your logo will be absolutely nailed onto that piece of cloth.
Without adding too much weight.
Yeah, DTF's really good. Vinyl is good. I mean, I've been using it for years, and people dunk the kites in the water. Salt water and things are not good, but
Actually, after he's done, as an example, on the outside of this tent, there is the HQ logo that's on the outside, that's vinyl, but there are on some of the legs, like I was testing DTF on these legs, and I just heat pressed onto this. And this is a little bit thicker ripstop than what you'd use in kites, but it shows like it was really easy to put on. I just started really low and I pressed it a few times because it's like, okay, we're gonna see, am I gonna burn the leg or is the thing not gonna stick? And it's held. It's been out here
Another
50
great
miles
one,
an hour
especially if
wind.
you're doing vinyl,
Yep.
is if you're going to make a fine cut in vinyl, when you heat press it, take a real close look at the edge. And if you can see, if it's shrunk just enough so you can see a raw glue edge, the tiniest raw glue edge, that's the maximum amount of stick you can get on that piece of vinyl. Because nothing can get under the vinyl. It goes glue straight in. If you leave too much vinyl with a bit of space in it, it can get under. The reason I know that is I did a whole load of samples when I was with Rev, and they used to print their logos onto the fabric, and it was good for a while until we were throwing away half of them. And we couldn't work out why we were throwing away half of them until we suddenly worked out that they were cutting them in bulk. So this was a face, the next one up was you were on the back of the fabric, and it was all going flat to the printers, and they're just going slam, 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 slam. So half of them are on the back of the cloth and falling off in about 4 weeks' time, and the other side were fine. It's one of those, it was so confusing, like what the hell has happened? And then you start counting the ones that failed, and it was half. It's like, hang on a minute, that's not an accident, that's something that's physically happening. But if you're going to go into the world of making them for a living, when people say to you, will it last if I dunk it in the ocean? Well, you're thinking they're just going to dunk it in the ocean. They may not clean it after being in the ocean until the next time they fly it, or ever. So I used to have a bucket of salt water that I'd check every 2-3 weeks with some vinyl cuts in it, see if they've peeled, and then get them out and go really mash them around, treat them as bad, throw a few handfuls of sand in every now and again, just as bad as you could treat it, because, well, especially quadline flies, they'll do anything to a kite skin. They don't care. But then you get down to your customer as well, and you can say, if you are going to do this, make sure you wash it off in the shower later. Don't leave it for a week. Wash your lines off, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, DTF, putting logos on stuff. New technology, or fairly new in the world. It's great.
You can get incredible.
And the
fine
price of it is
detail.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so cheap.
I mean,
Tell me again what DTF stands
Direct to fabric or direct to film
Yeah.
is what you'll be looking for to make patches with.
If you look at like Waddy's logo or mine here, like, I mean, you can see like we got the lettering here,
Consider what it's on.
right? And
That's a
pressed this on
fleece. That's on a fleece, and the
And
glue's enough to hold it.
These
It's incredible.
have been out in 50-mile-an-hour winds, rain. They've gone through the wash
Sand,
30,
ultraviolet.
40 times.
It's so good.
It's holding up.
It's an industry changer.
Yeah.
The nice thing is, everyone wants to make money doing it.
Yeah.
So everyone's really competitive. And you can buy it by the yard.
Yeah.
No, look at me getting all American.
I buy it by the 80-inch sheet, and I put
Yeah.
as much stuff on there as I can.
And-
I name like 50.
They
60.
sell it in space,
Yep.
as in an area. So if you can cram it in there, you can have it for the same price.
You make your own DTFs at home.
Yeah.
You send it away to a printer.
Yes.
I like to do everything in house.
I know you do, buddy.
I'm like, can I do it myself?
You can do, for something that lasts on a kite.
I don't know. Right
Waddy,
now,
we
so-
believe that you can
I
figure
have
it out.
I have a machine in the factory at the moment. It costs us 300 Australian dollars, so $200. What it is it's an old Epsom R1800 printer that they converted.
It's a batter printer.
Yeah.
Dice up. You can do dice up off of
Yes, you can.
any vat printer.
Exactly. And but this allows you to put a white ink through and your colours and even maybe a clear gel print. So it's basically a whole load of tubs that feed the heads. Whatever you put through there takes it. You can do it, and I think the entry level is quite cheap, but it's a lot of mucking around. And it's often easy just to send that PDF or whatever straight away, and in 4 days it's on your doorstep, and it's cost you $20.
What I like
But it
right
is fun
now
doing.
is that I number every kite, right?
Yeah.
So I do that in my printing.
Yes,
So
yes.
originally it was just Sharpie. I just
Yeah,
Sharpie on it.
yeah.
And then I got a little dice up printer, and so now I dice up on all of them,
Brilliant.
my little logo and the number and the name of the kite, and it changes everything.
It's so satisfying, isn't it? It makes you feel good about what you've done. It's like, it's all
But then you get someone
coherent.
that orders an all black kite,
Yeah.
and dice up your dyeing fabric. You can't dye black fabric unless you're using bleach or something. I don't think
No,
it's not going to work.
You can't really
like
strip
that,
the
right?
colour out of it so much,
So
yeah,
that's
without
where you
destroying
go to-
it.
That's where I go to vinyl if
Yeah.
I need to do that. But then vinyl, you can't go. I like small and modest in the corner.
Uh-huh.
But vinyl, you got to cut that shit out. And if you get little bitty lettering, and you got to weed that out, and
Yeah.
it's like good luck getting it.
And if that
small,
day
fine
you've
lettering.
just eaten something and haven't washed your hands, and there's a slight amount of oil residue on your fingers,
Yeah.
cleanliness, oh my word. I had my children do a whole load of bags for me. It cost me not a lot. It cost me $300 and some odd in replacing all those bags all the way across the world. So, yeah, they'd all decided to go and have some KFC that I didn't know about. And I come back in and I'm looking down in the bin and these KFC boxes and oh, we finished. I'm like, oh shit, it was bad. Just little bits of grease all across all the substrates and hot pressed on, and then they all start lifting in the corner, and yeah, like I said, hundreds of dollars in posting around the world.
But one of the cool things too is that a lot of these things can be reused.
Yes.
So I'm doing.
Yes.
I've got dice up vinyl stickers.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get sticker sheets
Yep.
that are vinyl. You can dice up sublimate onto
Yep.
them and then chuck them in the Cricut to cut them out, and you
Yep.
get waterproof stickers,
Yep.
and they're great.
No, I
you can do
still
side stuff.
personally like vinyl. I think it just has a nice body to it in the kite. But if you're doing little small logo.
10 minutes.
Okay, so if you're doing like little small logos and that, DTF's probably your way. If you want to just drop your little logo bang down center, or with whoever's doing whatever at the moment. Bigger logos, yeah, break out the vinyl. But like what he says, you can dye sub onto vinyl. Chroma cast. There's a whole range.
There's even a dice up heat transfer vinyl that
Yes.
I tried.
Yes.
Which was interesting because that was I was experimenting when I had an all black.
Chemmark is our one in
And
Oz.
it was-
So
yeah, I could dice up black onto this dice up heat transfer vinyl, and then transfer that, and so it had like a black background,
yeah.
white lettering,
Yeah, yeah.
basically, and so just dice up the black into it, and it was okay.
It's okay.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Although the interesting thing there was that I printed directly onto the vinyl through the dice up printer,
Yeah.
instead of printing onto a transfer.
Yeah.
Because then all the ink is there, and then just heat press that, and it gets a much darker black
Yeah.
by doing that. If you can just go ink right on the fabric.
And like with all these things, you have to work out pressure, how much pressure you're putting down on it. It's a huge learning curve, but it's fun. Let's briefly talk about jigs. If you're making a bridle and you're there with the tape measure, measuring every single one each time, get yourself a piece of wood and some nails. Make your loops, tie your knots. Tie exactly the same place. Make a mark on the piece of wood where you're going to hold it in a pair of forceps sometimes, and tie the knot, pull it tight, bang, stretch it over there. Now you're stretching that loop onto there. It's perfection every time. Don't measure 50,000 times. Just make yourself a jig that's repeatable again and again and again until you're at the point where you're just watching TV shows making bridles. Just keep going. Leading edges, things like that, with folds and there's a way to do a quad line leading edge. Well, I'm not telling you. You'll find your way. I've got my way, and I will probably take it to the grave. So, but if you can't work it out, I might give you some hints. Let's just say, even a curve at some point is a straight line. Yeah, just little bits. So, what else we got?
Well, is there any questions anyone has about either escalating or de-escalating from production or down? is a good time to ask.
Are you going to escalate? Because I saw that you were flying up there, and I was drooling over here and asking people.
You mean the need for my man in Malaysia with his dye sublimation printer?
I don't know.
It's sitting just over there. That thing's too heavy. It's too heavy. It doesn't bend in the right places.
Okay, forget that.
Yeah.
Are you going to escalate?
Maybe. I've got a few factors to go through.
Because my kites that I like to fly, that are yours.
I know. Yes, I am. I am in October going back into business. But the way I want to do it now. I want to make enough money. I moved to Australia, if people didn't know, 10 years ago, and my pension plan isn't enough yet in Australia. My English one's good. American one is non-existent. So I'm going to make kites, put my maximum amount I can put into my retirement fund, the things that are left, throw some more back in the business, and the rest get on aeroplanes and come back here and other places around the world.
Come hang out with us. Yeah.
Go and see people you love. That's what you got to do. Yeah,
All right.
that's about it.
De-escalate.
De-escalate.
So-
I'm escalating to de-escalate a bit.
No, yes, you
I
are.
think.
But I think I'm interested in efficiency, right? Getting
Right.
more efficient at making kites.
If you have 15 objects you're putting on, and you have to go from here to here to here to here to here to pick it up, move everything in so it's one movement. Time how long it takes to pick that out of here, that out of here, that out of there. If I move that to there, is it now quicker to do that to there, to that to there, to that to there? Break it down in a timesheet.
No, I'm not going to do that. But
So you don't want to appreciate.
no.
You say you do, but you don't want to do it. What's it gonna be? It's
Well,
like,
I think what I'm hearing is
Define
you have
efficiency for you.
yeah.
you have in your shop
Yes.
stations for different activities.
Yeah.
Cutting table.
Definitely.
You have
A sewing area.
a sewing area.
Most definitely.
You have a bits and fittings area.
Yep.
Because when you say you're pulling parts,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
envisioning.
Oh, I've
you
got
pulling
buckets.
parts.
Buckets of bits.
Right, but you're doing end caps, you're doing bungee, you're doing whatever else, right? So you have all that stuff at a station, as it were, so that you can do 20 kites
Right.
sitting at one.
I always work standing up.
Okay, or
I never sit down. So I have
bring-
everything in containers.
Yeah, so you have bins. You bring a
Yeah.
thing of bins.
So I put a
to
set
the
of bins,
table.
and like I say, that one will be exactly there. That one will be exactly here, and tilted this way slightly. So when I do that, they come out cleanly.
Yeah.
It's,
So when you're doing
we're talking
one-
seconds. We're truly talking seconds.
Yeah, no.
But when you put it all together, you finish 45 minutes earlier on a day.
Yeah, when you're doing 20
Yeah,
at a time,
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense.
yeah. If you're doing ones or twos, whatever. But
Yeah, so shop organization would be another.
very important.
Right, like is
Tidying up. Oh my God. Because when you're cutting out, it
why
look
are you hitting me on top of my head?
it just looks like fabric vomit across the floor.
Yes. I'm good at making.
And then it picks up on your feet, and if you happen to live in the same house you're working in, and you walk into the next
Oh, and
room.
you're still using spray tack for tack boards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also certainly with sewing machines, if you're using any adhesives or anything like that, first part of your day every day should be to clean that machine.
If you're using. Sorry.
To clean the machine.
Yeah,
And when I say clean it, I mean
Adhesives.
take the shuttle out the bottom, clean the bobbin case, the shuttle, re-oil it, do everything. Check the hook hasn't got any dust, any glue residue on it. Check your needles straight, or even, well, for us, just throw the needle out and start again. Every time you get a needle strike, there's a plate just by the hook that has been struck and bent out of place. Your machine is no longer hitting bang on its place because there's a diverter as the hook comes down.
Yeah.
There's a plate that actually pushes the needle out the way on most machines you'll be using. If you get one needle strike on that plate's moved. It won't be diverting it, so you could find that your needle's actually scratching on the hook every time it goes, which is causing thread damage, which is more tension problems. Things start not feeling like they're going right, and it's all because you've hit that plate out of line. So if you have your machine serviced by anyone, show them how to put the diverter crash plate back in place. You just need a screwdriver and just go. But it will move. That's its job. Yeah, keep super clean, tidy. If you want machines to work every day, well, treat them well, as they won't. Make time for repairs, else it will make time for its repairs itself. And when it does that, it costs money. So I think that's about it, really.
Yeah, that's it.
Hope you got something out of that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Baz. He'll be
Nothing.
around for more questions.
Yeah.